those are really hard to do without the additional mulligans. So
that's
could
true.
see this played a little
true.
slower, perhaps Celestial Roar, just start to work your way through.
That is very true. There were so many additional cards for so long for Ian Robb in that last game, thanks to those mulligans. These are the prize cards as well for Ian Robb. Dragapult EX in there, one of the Ogerpon. Ooh, and that
MVP Billy. No.
Not the Billy. Squawkabilly EX in the prize cards. It is pretty low there, but you saw how that Motivate was great for the strategy here to start getting those energy out. And it's quite sad seeing that it's not going to be flying around here for Ian Robb.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. This is an attack that you can use in the mid game as well. If your opponent does get off to that great start, use the Crushing Hammers, and maybe Fernando just lines up a board that has no energy on the other side and just continues to attack, attack, attack. You can take that turn off, use Motivate, and maybe mount that comeback. And we saw Ian was able to do that pretty quickly. The only prize cards last game were the Squawkabilly.
Exactly. Well, we saw that Celestial Roar off of that Regidrago. Discard top 3 cards, and then if any of them are energies, you can attach them to the Pokemon. Unfortunately, it was not. It was a V-Star, a Teal Mask Ogerpon, and an Earthen Vessel. All very pivotal resources there for Ian Robb. Over on Fernando's side for this next turn, this is our second turn. You can play a supporter here, Colress's Tenacity, Stadium card, and an Energy card. Being available to be sought out of the deck with that card. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a unique supporter that we see in similar decks like this. Just you need a couple things to get rolling, and any access that you can find to the Double Turbo, you need to accept that. We've seen Energy Lotto in these decks so that you can search out this energy. It's so vital to have that turn 2 attack and start putting some pressure on.
Yeah.
And Fernando's doing just that.
Yeah, pressure indeed. Lost City being played here, and then straight into that Volt Cyclone. Now that we have that Double Turbo attached, we have all the energy requirement needed, and that damage is going down onto Ian Robb's side, putting a little bit of a timer on him here. We have that damage Regidrago V. We are going to be playing an Ultra Ball here, discarding 2 cards to search out another Pokemon for Ian Robb. But yeah, a little bit of a timer here, lots of damage coming down, and we're going to have to see how he's able to respond.
Yeah, this is, I mean, if I caught the hand right, I think there's an opportunity here. It looked like Canceling Cologne was in hand. So you just go for it right here. Legacy Star, let's see some unique help.
Yeah.
There's access to what? Earthen Vessel potentially here. You could find some help. Let's play it safe. It looks like Nest Ball. Well, the Earthen Vessel's already there. Oh, we're flying. Oh, my goodness. Is it all there? He's got the energy switch.
He's got everything. Oh, my gosh, Kyle. Ian Robb taking down this Iron Thorns EX in a dominant 2-0 victory here in our first top 8 match at the World Championships. I cannot believe what just happened.
What was that hand? He had it all.
As soon as he saw the Canceling Cologne come down, and then the Legacy Star get those 7 cards, I mean, Ian Robb had absolutely everything needed there.
He grabbed a card to throw away with Earthen Vessel. That's how cracked that hand was. Congratulations, young man. You're moving on to the top 4.
Nice and quick here. Quick business for Ian Robb. And I'm sure that's really nice to see for him, because we saw something very similar last season at NAIC. It was against him, though. There was a very, very fast matchup that happened, and it made him second place at NAIC. But now the tables have turned. Ian Robb, karma is in your favor. You're taking down that Iron Thorns EX, and you're in our top 4 now. Huge congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens with Iron Thorns. You play a deck that is volatile. It doesn't always find additional Pokemon. Sometimes it doesn't even find the first Pokemon. But we got there, we saw one, and there was a moment. And sure enough, Canceling Cologne unlocks so many great opportunities. This is definitely going to be one that we remember for quite some time.
I think so too, Kyle. Canceling Cologne, the MVP card there, shutting down that Iron Thorns EX ability in the initialization, unlocking yours and unlocking all of those strategies for Regidrago. And then you see how explosive that deck can really be. I mean, there was just one future Pokemon in the way of all of that happening. And once he had that Canceling Cologne, threw it down, he was able to pop off there and take a win. And that was a 2-0 as well against Iron Thorns. That means Iron Thorns is no longer, Kyle.
Bye. No, of course.
See ya.
Huge commiserations and congratulations to Fernando. It was an excellent run. 8-0 at this event. The World Championships continues through in the next day and is able to lock up a top 8 here. It's a fantastic performance, and I'm sure he's going to be looking to build on that. But, I mean, this is Ian Rob's moment. What a way to close out and move into the top 4. He's got some great talent waiting for him on the other side, though. I'm sure we're excited to see how those games go. But ours probably finished first out of everyone. Let's be real.
I was thinking that too, Kyle. I was thinking that too. That was very quick here on the stage. Quick action. It was super fun to watch still, though. And like you said, Fernando still has a lot. I mean, we have prizes going down to our top 32 as well. Like, so much cool stuff. There's play mats. There's promo cards. There's a bunch of other cool stuff. I think there's like a keychain or something, which is so
Sign me
cool.
up. You know why I'm here. Where's that keychain?
I mean, you get so much swag here if you perform that well at the World Championships. And to take a different archetype into our World Championships as well, succeed with it, I'm really curious to see if Fernando was expecting to do so well with Iron Thorns. I'm sure hoping to go all the way, but is going to end up here right now, but still representing Latin America, making it into our top 8. Huge feat here for Fernando. Huge congratulations.
Yeah, and I mean, he's if he was played against any other Regidrago, it's not guaranteed that you see that canceling cologne tech in the list. It's not always an inclusion. Any of those, it's a totally different game. You need that pop-off turn. Yeah, Squawkabilly was a pretty cool opener, but that's rare. It's like one switch in the deck, and maybe you do it with a prime catcher, but this doesn't happen on turn 1. He was able to do that and follow it up with a turn 2 win in game 2. Ian Rob's on fire. We talked about all of these players and who's maybe on the hottest streak. Rahul, of course, with that big run. Jesse Parker probably on the hottest run, but Ian Rob's probably right there.
I think so too, Kyle. Let's take a quick look at our match highlights. If you didn't happen to catch that game, first of all, what are you doing? You should be tuned in.
Quick too.
Yeah, that's true. That
maybe
is true.
if you did go to get a nice cold refreshing beverage, you didn't have time.
I think we actually need to slow-mo that last turn so we can explain it here to our viewers. But
well, quickly we saw Squawkabilly go in, do its thing, motivate the troops, take a quick knockout, and from there on it was all about rolling in the deep. We saw over and over again just playing a defensive strategy, taking his time. Ian accumulating 6 pips over and over and over again. But it's enough, and you get all the way down to 2 prize cards remaining, which are both Regidrago, by the way. Get the job done.
Exactly. Flipped those over. That was pretty funny. But this was our last turn. It came very quickly here for Ian Rob after taking down that first game. But you see all the pieces coming together. The canceling cologne is what unlocked that legacy of V-Star power. We see the energy switch there. Everything was there for Ian Rob to take that knockout and take that game here in that game 2. I'm excited to hear from him. Ian Rob himself. Can he make it further? We'll have to wait and see, but I'm excited. Pablo, take it away.
Thank you so much, Boo. I'm here with Ian Rob, our first semi-finalist of today. How are you feeling, Ian?
I'm feeling incredible. That was a matchup I was not at all expecting to, I was not looking forward to that, and I was really scared and it was really unfavored. Not like that unfavored, but I really knew it was going to come down to, do I draw my cologne early? Did I not? And game 2, when I opened my cologne, my 1 canceling cologne, turn 1 going second, I wanted to puke.
I mean, yeah, that's a pretty high roll-ish play. Now, tell me about your tournament run so far. Have you gone up against other Iron Thorns? Like, what has brought you all the way up here to top 4?
So far, honestly, it's winning coin flips in the right matchups and not having to use my Regidrago V-Star early. I've had a lot of close games against other Regidrago players, Raging Bolt, Charizard, so it's been a really tough battle. And really, I can tell like if I'm going to win or not based on did I use my V-Star turn 2 or not.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what Regidrago is. Now, tell me a little bit about, you shared with everyone that fabulous picture of yourself 12 years ago in Hawaii, all right? Is this your moment? Is this fulfilling young Ian Rob's dream of becoming world champion?
Might be. It's been absolutely incredible being back here in Hawaii 12 years after my best ever Worlds finish, and being able to maybe redeem myself in finals has been incredible. And honestly, I've really not thought about it. I've been trying to just like focus one match at a time, not thinking about overall how I'm going to feel at the end of the day, but this has been absolutely amazing. And I know that this will be a lot of emotion after the event's over.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, 12 years ago, that's crazy. Now, one final question, Ian. Yeah, if you know the other players in the top 8, you know the other decks that are around, is there anyone you're hoping to avoid?
To avoid? Not really. Every matchup in this format is so even that I don't really care who I'm against. I'm hoping that year I win the coin flip and I draw well. I know he's ready for Vigo's Easter turn too. That's all I'm asking for really at this point.
All right, and now I guess tell me a little bit about why Rage Drago Vista. Usually the best deck that's positioned heading into Worlds doesn't end up doing too well in the event, but Rage Drago has been dominating. It was your deck choice. What's the thought process behind that?
So for the past month, I've been practicing basically just Rage Drago Visar. Early on, my friends and I identified it was the best deck by a wide margin, and we just practiced it so much that we knew all the matchups. Like, our list isn't anything all that special, quite honestly, but it was just really about learning every matchup. And one thing I identified early was not that it was a very easily counterable deck. It was like, at best, its worst matchups is like maybe 40-60. So I felt really confident going to a room of decks which people thought it'd be Rage Drago, but it really doesn't if Rage Drago draws decent.
Yeah, and clearly it's gotten you quite far so far. Now, any shout outs or anyone who has helped you get all the way up here?
So first of all, shout out to my family for supporting me every day, and my amazing girlfriend. Shout out to Zayaland for helping me test for this event, and Thursday night being convinced that Feznet the EX in my deck when I really did not want to play it. So special shout out to Isaiah Chaville actually for being the one who did it in that group. Shout out to my other friends who helped me test, practice, get ready for this event, and has cheered me on.
Great, Ian. Thank you so much for sharing this. I'm gonna let you go ahead and celebrate your top 4. I'm sure you're eager to get started with the next match, but let's get back to Caster, see what else they have in store for us.
Thank you so much for that wonderful interview. I mean, how humbling is it 12 years ago as a senior, making it all the way to 2nd place, but now here potentially having the opportunity to do it again and get that redemption. I can't imagine how Ian Rob is feeling now. And he said he's just trying to take it one game at a time here so far. And I guess if that ends up happening, maybe then all those emotions are going to flood into him, and it's going to be overwhelming.
I think if you win this game, that's when you really start to struggle, because you got to sleep on it. And you know you've been here before. And it's just writing itself, Boo. This could be an incredible closeout to our event. There's also so many other storylines we're following here. Yep. The undefeated Jesse Parker, can he get it done? And of course, Isaiah Bradner, who's always 2nd place at all of these major events over and over and over. And can he break through? Looks like he's almost there, but it's gonna be incredible to watch which of these players can start to dwindle down, get to that finals.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a quick game that we saw there between our players. So we're still kind of waiting for some results here for things to get tidied up in our bracket so we can bring you some more Pokemon action. But I think we have some fun to have too, Kyle.
Okay, sign me up.
Sign me up. We've speaking of brackets, we've been doing some community bracket action. For our World Championships, we've been discussing what is the best A-Spec. I believe we had 8 options to start. And yeah, we've been working through that so far. I think we've only done one of these. Kyle, you and I.
Yeah, it was a little unfair. It was
a little bit.
The first one there, the
There's
prime
8
catcher.
votes. 8 votes. Thank you to the 8
You've got some diehard fans to follow you with 8 votes there against Prime Catcher.
That is funny here, but we've been working through these A-Specs. A-Specs, if you don't know, these are cards you can only play one A-Spec in your deck, but because that is the case, they're very fancy looking. They're bright pink, they have a very cool hollow texture, and we're going to be discussing 2 of them right here with you right now. It's a bit of a debate here between Unfair Stamp and Legacy Energy. I suppose I can start us off here, Kyle.
Ding, ding. Go ahead.
Ding, ding. I think I'm going to take Legacy Energy on this one for you, Kyle. Congratulations. No, just kidding. Legacy Energy. So This is a card that you can attach to your Pokemon. It's not just a rainbow energy, Kyle. It counts as any energy here, but if your Pokemon is knocked out, your opponent also takes one less prize card. I mean, I've seen this thing thrown onto an Iron Hands. It takes a 2 prize card turn, and then you're a 1 prize card Pokemon as well. That's insane. It's absolutely bananas, and it's an energy card as well. It fits into so many different decks. It adds that extra energy. It allows you...
Nope. Nah, not doing it. Not here. It's time to get unfair.
30 seconds is...
We're going to be so unfair. Okay, Boo? This is one of the most broken cards that's ever been released in the TCG. Yeah, there's some other cards that can put an energy on the field. There's like 8 ways to counter you. I can get rid of that card so easily. I could throw down a temple. I'm chilling. This card destroys games. You get 2 cards as the opponent. I get 5. I've already played a supporter. I'm going to keep rolling. I can keep drawing, and there's no way you're going to run back this matchup. You've got 2 cards to try to figure it out for the rest of the game.
Come
and if
on.
I found my temple, I just locked you out and beat you in like 3 different ways.
You're done. No. Come on, there's so many support Pokemon. You can get out of it, all right? We got Pheasantipity now. It's carrying some weight here.
Let's ask Rahul how Legacy Energy feels right now.
Listen, that's unfair. That's unfair.
Yeah, it is unfair. I'm going to stamp it right here.
Oh, that was fun here. I do love Legacy Energy, though. It unlocks a lot for some cool decks, variation of attackers.
I don't think Lugia exists without that card.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true.
It does need to be there, and it gives it that opportunity to compete with the smaller decks that we've seen and beat up on some of those Ralts, those Charmanders, whatever you need. But unfair stamp is just crack.
It is.
I keep calling it reset stamp, and I'm like, the reset stamp doesn't even go close to what this card does. I thought restamp.
I became a nurse to make lives better.
You really want me to say a swear word?
Yes, let it out. Mute your stream if you got to.
Here we go. All right, you ready?
Yes.
A swear word.
Fuck you, Nick! What the fuck was that? Nah, fuck that! That ain't how you fucking scammer! Bro, what the fuck, bro? Nah, bro! Why the fuck is he scamming, bro?
Yo, I kept my end of the deal. I said a swear word. You said I would say a swear word if I lost. I lost. I said a swear word.
No, like a swear word, bro.
Oh,
No way, you was swimming the whole time.
I'm a man of my word, bro. I said it.
Bro, no.
You know what? This is a lot for me right now, guys. You guys are really just teaming up against me in game. You're teaming up me right now. I can't do it. I can't do it.
No.
You really want me to say
chicken from Popeyes.
Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3.
Earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials.
In 2022, PlayStation released a catalog of PS1 games, now known as the Classics Catalog, leaving players ecstatic. The issue is that most of these remastered games did not come with trophies, which is honestly just a buzzkill. PlayStation has finally come to their senses, hashed in some brand new trophy lists, which brings us to our next platinum attempt. Released in 1999 by Activision and Disney Interactive, with 39 trophies that were patched in June 10th, 2024. At the time of recording, no one in the world has platinumed the game yet, leaving the door wide open for us to become the first player ever to platinum the game. But if for some reason I fail to become first achiever tonight, I will lose this PS1 from the famous DK Oldies, and I'll give it to one of you watching this video right now. Clock's ticking. This game is actually a reimagined version of Toy Story 2 the movie, bringing to life different scenes from the movie like Andy's house, Al's toy barn, and the airport. All right, so I grew up watching Toy Story. I've always wanted to platinum this game. Opening up the game, I was flooded with a heap of nostalgia. Oh, wow. I started learning the mechanics of the game. The interesting thing about the third-person camera is that it's from 1999. It's slow, and the camera movement actually caused me to miss so many jumps throughout the game because it wouldn't turn and look in the right direction. Ooh. This brings me to our first trophy, find all 5 of Bo Peep's sheep. There's more trophies like this one almost every mission for finding and returning 5 lost toys. We gotta figure out how to get on the table. I'm not quite sure. Oh.
I probably won't be the first or last person to tell you that the original Pokemon Diamond and Pearl are pretty terrible games. But when hearing about why they're terrible, most people just settle for because Platinum is better in every way as their answer. And I'm not exactly here to defend against those allegations because they're all completely true, dear God. Instead, I'm here to tell you that those problems run much deeper than you might expect. And the only reason I know this is because I'm a speedrunner who has to deal with the deeper shortcomings this game has compared to Platinum. So with all that said, why would anyone want to speedrun Pokemon Diamond and Pearl if Platinum exists? Well, it's complicated. When it comes to the most minor of differences between Pokemon games and their definitive version, it can be hard to see how those little changes affect gameplay when most of them are pretty subtle when the games are played casually. But when it comes to speedrunning, these type of tiny changes put into a definitive version can have quite a drastic effect on a speedrun route. As an example, Pokemon Sun and Moon used Poplio the entire game, while Ultra Sun and Moon use Hawlucha. The reason
the Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99 each. Live free, eat Sonic.
Together, Cottonelle Ripples clean better. Teamwork.
The reason for such a drastic change in routes is due to Ultra Moon providing you with a Hawlucha as a trade Pokemon before the first trial. This same exact trade technically also exists in Pokemon Sun and Moon, but you're given a Machop instead, which is nowhere near as good as Hawlucha for speedrunning. And it's very minor changes such as this that make up a solid reason to speedrun Pokemon Diamond and Pearl over Platinum. In total, there are about 5 of these positive minor differences, such as placing a TM in a different spot, a small location change for grabbing an HM, the layouts used for gyms, a couple of glitches, and finally the Pokemon that your opponent has access to. The TM in question is one you can receive as soon as you enter Jubilife, and all you have to do to get it is to beat these 2 Abra trainers in the school building and you'll get the TM for Hidden Power. In Generation 4 games, both this move's base power and type are affected by Pokemon's IVs, giving you extra coverage needed to play the game faster since we can manipulate those IVs very easily. And while it is an extra TM available in both games, Platinum locks this move behind the game corner, making it not worth grabbing at all for a speedrun since slot machines are really slow. But why is this TM such a big deal? Well, it actually makes Chimchar the undisputed fastest Pokemon in Diamond and Pearl. But Platinum has a bit of a starter war going on for the unanimously best Pokemon without access to that TM. While it is generally agreed upon that Piplup is the best and fastest starter for a Pokemon Platinum glitchless speedrun, Chimchar has had a stranglehold on the world record for quite a few years now due to how much more consistent using it actually is. And this is just pure speculation, but with Hidden wind power taken into account, Chimchar would likely leave Piplup in the dust here too. The next minor change we need to cover is the HM location for the move Defog in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. For those unaware, Route 210 is a mandatory route filled with a ton of fog in the overworld, which also has the effect of lowering accuracy of moves in battle by 3/5 of their normal accuracy, which essentially comes down to about a 60% chance of hitting a 100% accurate move, which is pretty terrible to deal with and overall worth getting rid of the fog in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Platinum, on the other hand, decided to move this HM from the easily accessible Great Marsh and place it deep within the Solaceon ruins. And if memory serves, this wastes about a minute of time saved to obtain in Platinum, making it not worth the investment and forcing us to take some pretty painful risk in the deep fog. For the third minor difference, we're coming up on the gym layouts. Gardenia, Maylene, Fantina, and Candace all have very vastly different gym layouts in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl as opposed to Platinum. Some of these layouts force you to fight extra trainers in Diamond and Pearl, while others are either really weird, easy to solve puzzles that lead directly to the gym leader, or quite a headache to solve if most of your Gen 4 experience lies within Platinum, making gym layouts a bit of a mixed bag, unfortunately. But what isn't a mixed bag whatsoever is the differences and glitches between Pokemon Diamond versus Platinum. The key changes here involve how collision is programmed in what's known as the Void. This is essentially an area in the game that shouldn't really exist, but when you go over a loading zone fast enough by following a set pattern, you can just force it to exist through a glitch called tweaking. Given that bike speeds between Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum are very similar, and the loading zone in those cities are exactly the same, you can technically do the same glitches in both games. But because of that newly programmed Void collision in Platinum, they won't actually have the same results when doing those glitches. As an example, beating Diamond and Pearl in under an hour is super possible with only 2 badges to your name, all thanks to this particular tweak that can take us all the way to the Hall of Fame if we save and reset in very specific spots in the Void. Platinum, however, can't even make it far enough before the collision destroys that opportunity. However, I think this is actually a fantastic change for Platinum since it provides Platinum with an entirely new route for speedrunning. But where one of the wilder changes happens is in the Pokemon that trainers have going from Platinum to Diamond and Pearl. I'm sure if you've been on the internet long enough, you'll know about the infamous 2-Fire Pokemon team that the Fire Elite Four member Flint has. But have you ever looked at the gym leaders and Team Galactic lineup in Diamond and Pearl? It's pretty terrible. Most of the early sections have you facing monstrosities such as Cascoon, Wurmple, Bronzor. It's just not great. Even your boy Cyrus doesn't have fully evolved Pokemon when you face him in his very own Team Plasma headquarters. Gym leaders are also pretty pathetic and weird. Most of them have very under-evolved Pokemon that don't pose much of a challenge. But then there's folks like Volkner, the electric gym leader. I'm trying to contemplate why they gave this guy an Octillery and an Ambipom, but I can't make this up. It's so weird. I truly have no idea the logic behind these battle team decisions, but it makes it feel as if the games were rushed out without full thought being put into balancing or the common gym and Elite Four tropes, such as having monotype teams throughout their party of 6. But at the very least, this emphasis on weaker and weirder teammates does make the speedrun a bit more consistent than Platinum. And if you're looking for difficulty, Cynthia does have most of her classic team going on, but unfortunately, there's an even deeper problem with Cynthia and every single trainer thus far that you might not have known about. But before we talk about those issues, I just want to say thanks for watching this far into the video. And if you're enjoying this enough, please consider subscribing. We're right on the cusp of 100,000 subscribers, to the point where we might actually reach it by the end of the year. So now that we're finished talking about why you would even consider running Diamond and Pearl, we obviously have to talk about the much deeper issues of the games to understand why a lot of folks tend to avoid speedrunning it.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan.
Let's start this rough side of Diamond and Pearl with one of the biggest culprits being the AI on every single trainer in the game. I'm not entirely sure if this was due to a time crunch or wanting to make the games easier, but even trainers such as the champion Cynthia are programmed to go for a randomly selected move as long as that move doesn't conflict with a very special set of circumstances, like trying to poison a poison type Pokemon, burn a fire type Pokemon, or status a Pokemon already going through a status ailment. I might be missing an edge case here or there with the AI, but either way, this was arguably a worse decision than the swim speed. It does, however, present the opportunity to play as risky as possible, since you could technically play the entire game with 1 HP as long as you can either KO your opponent before they KO you, or they have a single non-damaging move in their inventory. However, this is only one of 5 major issues with running this game that make it really awkward to even consider speedrunning, because the next one has to tie back in with the battle system. You ever wonder why folks always bring up the battle speed in Generation 4 games? Well, there's a good reason for that, and it's not a very obvious one. You see, it's not just psychologically slow, because there's actually a weird hiccup of dead air that happens each time you take or receive damage. But if we mash buttons during those dead air segments, it actually causes the game to move forward a bit faster. The 3rd out of 5 nails in the coffin for this game also happens to take place in the battle system, because Diamond and Pearl treat their battle system very differently from other Gen 4 games, but not in the good kind of different. Generally, you can force the exact same results in battle when you start up a fight at a similar time frame in other Generation 4 games. But Diamond and Pearl, for some reason, advances RNG mid-battles in ways where you won't get that perfect sequence of events in a row without being extremely precise. Because of this, obtaining key features that make battles easier, such as Pokerus, are not very feasible to manipulate, whereas every other Gen 4 game gets it by just entering and exiting a battle after a very long string of precise movement. Now, while this type of manipulation can get pretty cheesy at times, I have to say I'm extremely glad they ended up changing it later on. But one of the other things that I'm thankful for is the gym order change in Pokemon Platinum. If you've played enough Generation 4 Pokemon games, you're probably used to this order of events. But for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, the Hearthome City Gym is placed in the 5th gym slot instead of the 3rd, even though we pass through the city extremely early on. This isn't exactly the biggest deal ever, but it does mean we have less experience to earn before Wake's gym. Under normal circumstances, this would mean we'd have to face Wake with a not fully evolved Monferno. But fortunately for modern day speedruns, we have strategies to counteract this by stealing a Lucky Egg from a Chansey via RNG manipulation. But it does add a somewhat rough barrier to entry when performing a speedrun. But for the final nail in the coffin, we're gonna have to dig through Pokemon Platinum's 80% glitchless speedrun route history. Throughout the past decade of speedrunning Pokemon Platinum, speedrunners have taken the glitchless run down above 4 hours to time super close to 3 hours and 30 minutes flat. Most of those runs were done with Piplup throughout the decade until someone hypothetically asked, what if we tried Chimchar instead? Well, this purely theoretical question was asked by none other than a speedrunner who goes by the username Crafted. Crafted is very well known in the community for their insane consistency, Pokemon knowledge, and for putting Chimchar back on the map as the king of Pokemon Platinum speedruns, and all likely stemmed from a massive distaste for using Piplup as the main mon in Platinum. While Piplup's final evolution is an incredible Pokemon, Piplup and Prinplup are very sorely lacking in the move pool and power department when it comes to getting runs off the ground with how much has to go right in each battle early on. This stretch of disgusting battles stretches from Gym 1 all the way past Gym 3 without much breathing room until you finally evolve Piplup into Empoleon. And with such a massive stretch of nastiness going against Piplup, it can be extremely mentally taxing never getting a run off the ground. So with Crafted likely fed up with Piplup, he eventually invented a similar strategy to the one that speedrunners had been using in Diamond and Pearl for years, the Lucky Egg RNG manipulation. With this newfound power, Chimchar now had enough wiggle room to compete in a much more fun and consistent way for the world record. And while Piplup did snag the world record back at least once, it didn't take long for Chimchar Chimchar to regain dominance throughout the past 3 years. But one thing that didn't change is the active attempts at beating the glitchless world record in Diamond and Pearl. I imagine you might be thinking, what does all this have to do with Diamond and Pearl speedrunning? And what could have actually caused the downfall of it in the long run? Well, once the invention of a Chimchar route began to be a very competitive thing in Pokemon Platinum, no one really had a good reason to go back to glitchless speedruns in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl when you could just play the better game. Why deal with messy AI, no Pokerus, or an objectively worse version of a game when Pokemon Platinum exists? Well, there's only really 2 reasons I could come up with. One, how fast could you beat Diamond and Pearl if you took every possible risk? While Crafted does have a solid world record on the boards, it's definitely a beatable run, especially if you really push this high risk, high reward mentality against the garbage AI. The final reason is because the glitch speedruns of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl are really unique and cool compared to Platinum, and could easily net in more fun side categories if folks were inspired enough to invent something. Something I think would be cool is a glitch catch-em-all where you ride all over the void until you complete the entire Pokedex, or even a run that grabs all the badges with just using glitches. Truly, I think the possibilities are endless, and I think Diamond and Pearl deserves better than to be written off as an inferior version of Platinum, at least to a degree. Like, seriously, what were they thinking with this artillery on the electric
So let's go down to the stage and figure out exactly who it's gonna be.
Yeah, there we go. We get a nice panning shot there of the hall, but this is where we are concerned about that stage right there with that table, as we do see Jesse Parker on our left there, Pilot Number Ride on deck, and then we do see Michael Davidson there on the right with that Reggie Drago deck. So I cannot wait to see who is going to take the crown here and secure themselves in top 4. You know, Jesse Parker, you know, has some really good finishes this season. You know, has the 5th place there in Peoria and a lot of other finishes there as well, with the Pittsburgh finalist, Peoria top 8, Knoxville top 32, Indianapolis top 32 all this season, might I say. But then Michael Davidson over there, Indianapolis top 32, Pittsburgh top 16, Columbus NAIC top 8 as a senior, and then Hartford regional champion as a senior as well. So both players done really well and no stranger to these big stages.
And of course, Michael Davidson there, not long out of the senior division, a very new master division player, and playing here in the top 8 of the world championships. That is not too bad at all. And as I say, Jesse Parker just having a ridiculously good season there, but no wins to show for that season. And Jesse here, let's face it, you start 13-0, well, you're going to be in a very good position here.
Yeah, and you think it's interesting, right? Because you've got 2 tales of momentum. Jesse Parker saying, you know what, I can look from this stage, I can look out to the playing area at all of you and say, not one of you have beaten me so far this weekend. But then you got Michael who's saying, well, I just had to play in that play-in. I got in here, so you could argue that the momentum is on his side as well. Both players are going to be extremely confident here in this top 8 match. Now remember, viewers at home, the winner of this best of 3 will secure themselves a slot in the top 4, our last slot here. And the loser, well, their tournament ends here, Ross, at the 2024 World Championship. Both players are shuffling up here. I cannot wait to get this started.
But here's the thing, right? Top 8 at Worlds, phenomenal achievement, the kind of achievement we all dream of, an achievement that the vast majority of players will never achieve. But when you get here, you feel like, well, you know, how likely actually is it here that I'm ever going to get this chance again? I need to make the most of it. So that is, you know, it's great that you're here, but you kind of need to make the most of it. And especially with Jesse, undefeated right now, this is pretty gosh darn awesome. By the way, we talk about Jesse Parker. I've said 12-0, I've said 13-0. Technically 12-0, but it does show us 13-0 on the match slip because, of course, essentially didn't play that previous round. Got straight into top 8. So if anyone's wondering why we said both, That's the reason we've said both.
If you do look at the prizes there, Marco has prized the Squawk ability, a fantastic card to use in your turn 1 and 1 copy of Regidrago. And then Jesse has prized that 1 copy of Iron Bundle. So a couple one-offs there in the prizes for both players. But I think it's safe to say, Ross, nothing, you know, game-breaking there.
Not game-breaking, but I don't like having free energy prized if I'm Jesse. The more energy you've got prized, the lower percentage chance you have of hitting, especially double energy of your electric generator. And frankly, I want to. Jesse, we've heard, has been hitting very well of electric generator, been drawing very well throughout the tournament, as Miraidon often does. So having a bunch of energy prize can be a little bit of a pain. So it does look like the players are getting ready to go here. We see a handshake, and we are off with our final top 8 game of the 2024 Pokemon World Championships. And it looks like we see Michael going first here, and we know that Miraidon can have some fun going second.
It really, really can, but Regidrago needs to go first, and Michael is going to kick us off here in our top 8B feature match. Has led his Mew EX, that restart ability, the genome hacking attack. Jesse Parker has led Miraidon EX with that tandem unit ability and that photon blaster attack. Michael Davison is currently concluding that nest what's being played. They're going to allow him to grab a basic Pokemon, in this case Regidrago, and pop it straight on the bench.
Yeah, Regidrago, of course, you need that nice and early. And you said about Regidrago going first, you're right. It's not a basic deck. It's an evolution deck. You need to get your Regidrago V and evolve it into Regidrago V Star in order to actually make it work. So turn 1, you don't have a good turn 1 if you're Michael. That's something that Jesse is going to be looking to really try and take advantage of. Let's make sure that I can get a very good start. I want to get ahead on prizes before you've even got rolling here. So turn 1 for Jesse, going to be very important. Michael here, playing an Ultra Ball, just trying to essentially set up. You've got 2 Regidrago V here already. That's a pretty gosh darn good start. And Mew in the active, hey, nice bit of rebooting.
Yeah, it's got
or restarting, sorry. Get some extra cards, why not?
Yeah, and it's got a free retreat cost as well. But worth noting though, all these Pokemon that Michael has put down, they are 2 prize Pokemon obviously, and they all have under 220 hit points. So that means Photon Blaster is currently very live here for Jesse, as I'm sure he knows that taking these 2 prize cards earlier, as well as your first turn of the game, might I say, could really put the pressure on in this top 8 feature match.
Yeah, and Jesse has been feasting on Regidrago a little bit throughout this tournament, and this is one of the reasons why it ends up being possible. Because you go, well, you basically get the first attack against Regidrago. If you go first, they have a turn where they're not really rolling, and then you get the first attack. If they go first, you go second, and you get the first attack. Either way, if you can have a good turn 1, it can work. And Michael puts that Regidrago in the active, knowing that a good turn from Jesse here will leave it in the discard pile, and Jesse up by 2 prizes.
So it looks like Jesse is going to have his first turn here, going to activate that tandem unit ability, one of the best abilities in the game, letting you search your deck for 2 basic lightning Pokemon and pop them straight onto your bench. Looks like Jesse is going to do a little bit of a prize card check here, going to work out what is available to him. And yeah, we'll just play a copy of Blood Moon Ursaluna, worth keeping an eye on that. But nothing, as we said, the prizes there were just on the left, nothing too impactful.
No, but I'm looking at Jesse here, right?
Okay.
And I'm seeing that we've got a bunch of energy in the prizes, which is not ideal. 3 in the prizes, right?
Yes.
And I'm also looking, and I'm seeing, I think there were 4 energy in hand.
Yeah, there was quite.
7 out of 16 energy which aren't in the deck. You know what that means? That means that actually when you play those electric generator, you know, you're expecting to have 13, 14 energy in the deck. You've got 9. That is lowering the odds quite a lot here. So, yeah, there's 7 energy unavailable in the deck right now for Jesse. That is going to hurt, and we're going to see an Arven.
Yep.
Traditionally, you go for electric generator here, but the odds are against you a little bit.
The odds are, that is a fantastic point, actually, as we are going to see that tandem unit concluding. Going to grab the Raikou and the Miraidon as well. But we do see this Arven being played. Now, you're right, we could be seeing an electric generator being grabbed here just to try and keep up the tempo. We do see a Prime Catcher in Jesse's hand there, worth noting. And we do see the Forest Seal Stone currently in the hand here as well. So let's see what Jesse does target here. It looks like we are going to be riding the electric generator train still, though. with that rescue board. That will give the Pokemon attached to 1 less retreat cost. Worth noting, Miraidon does have a 1 retreat cost, so that will retreat for free if there's a rescue board attached. But I tell you what, though, if this electric generator hits 2, you just attach 1 for turn, you attach the rescue board, retreat, and boom, that's going to be 2 prize cards for Jesse straight away.
It is, and the day I see a Miraidon player play a turn 1 Arven and not get an electric generator, I mean, I don't even want to think about that. It is unconscionable. That's what you do with Miraidon.
Oh, and here we go, Ross. The electric generator is going to be played. 2 energy. There we go, cross of the hands. Oh, just the 1.
See, there's so much energy not in the deck. I don't think 1's a bad result here.
It's not. It's
not. Getting 2 with 9 energy in the deck would honestly be, that is well above odds. Getting 1 is a decent shout.
Now, we do see the Forest Seal Stone in the hand. So if Jesse really wants to, could attach the Forest Seal Stone to search for another one, but it looks like it's going to attach to the Raikou there. So that means that the turn 1 Photon Blaster probably isn't going to happen now.
Yeah, and you saw the decision there from Jesse, just thinking, where do I put this energy? Raikou is a 2 energy attacker. That is why you put it on there, so you can attach, and you've got the attack rolling. Miraidon takes a 3rd energy, and you could Forest Seal Stone for an electric generator, but Jesse's seen that there's energy prized. They've been able to search the deck. They know there's energy in hand. They know they're pushing their luck a little bit here, so has to go a slower route, and this is not what Jesse's looking for. With this matchup for Jesse, the deal is very simple. Turn 1 KO on Regidrago V, because the V-Star has too much HP. It's got 280. You don't want to deal with it.
No.
The good news is you can hit with your Raikou here and then finish off next turn, but that gives Michael the opportunity to knock out your Raikou, and then they're ahead 2 prizes. So it looks like we saw the Star Alchemy being used, going to grab the Squawkabilly. Prime Catcher into the Mew. That's going to get the Squawkabilly in the active. It has got the rescue board attached. We're going to see a manual attachment there to the Raikou. And it looks like we're going to see a Squawk and Seize, I would imagine. Now, it's going to be a lot of energy hitting the discard pile. But it's going to have to, that's just the way it's going to be. So Squawk and Seize, discard your hand to draw 6. Let's see what Jesse will find. And this is not a deck that plays from the discard pile. We've got Forest Seal Stone, Blood Moon, Ursaluna, Zapdos. This is not a deck that plays a bunch of Super Rod or attaches from the discard like those old fluffy versions. This is a deck that plays a bunch of energy and hopes you don't have to discard a bunch early while having a bunch of prize. That is a real downside to where Jesse is in this game. That is the big story as to why Jesse's not having that explosive start that they're so used to in this tournament. So you can attack with Raikou. There's, how many bench Pokemon we got here? 6 in total? Yep. So that would be 140. It's not terrible damage. And it does, if you fill your bench, you can KO Mew here. Yeah, it has got you don't need a full bench to KO Mew, for your opponent, I mean. Yeah, it has got the Zapdos as well that will boost basic lightning type damage. You could put that in play as well, just to bolster the Lightning Rondo. We do see a Town Store being played, and that's going to grab a Bravery Charm, going to boost the basic Pokemon's HP by 50. That's attached to. But yeah, I mean, it's still going to, we are looking at potential 2 prize KO. It's not the Photon Blaster, but it might just be enough to get the job done. No, it should be. Now, we need a full bench, though. As it is, we're only hitting 140. Here is a Fleet-Footed to draw an extra card. If Jesse can fill his bench, there's a Pheasantipity. You can bench the Blood Moon Ursaluna. You get the KO, but it's not the bench Pokemon you want. You are bench locking yourself here. But is it worth it for the KO? Jesse says yes. Lightning Rondo is going to hit exactly 180. And the way the Raikou maths works here, Shay, you add up all the bench Pokemon, add 1, times it by 20, boom. That's where you go. That's how the maths works. There you go. Some quick maths there from Ross. Love to see it. So Jesse's done what he needed to do. Get a turn 1, 2 prize KO. Oh, that's Celestial Roar for Michael. That's not what we really need to see. Discard top 3 cards of your deck and you can attach any energy. That hand is horrendous, Shay. That hand is very, very bad. So I think it's Jesse's turn here. So let's see what Jesse opts to do. I would love to. I've not seen a Celestial Roar on Regidrago for so long. Let's you discard the top 3 cards of your deck, and if any energy you can attach them, it's not what you're looking for. So it looks like we are over at Jesse's side of the board here. Looks like, I think that concluding a Town Store search, I believe. And let's see what Jesse, if you're Jesse Parker right now, you're also thinking, right, if we can get the Photon Blaster off here, that would be immense pressure. Yeah, a Photon Blaster would make such a huge difference here. Here's a fleet-footed drawing a card. It was a Luminion, but there's no bench space to play it. You did bench lock yourself on the previous turn to get that KO, which I kind of like that. We see an energy on the Miraidon. Is there any draw options? Oh, Professor's Research. Now we do see one more energy hit in the discard. That is 8. No, no, it's still only 7 that are unavailable, because that energy and the one you attached, they both came from the prizes. So there's 9 energy, I think, that have been essentially drawn or played here, now that you've got one in hand. So Electric Generator, you're getting through your deck now. Your odds are going up a little bit. It's not perfect, but did we draw an Electric Generator?
We did not, so I think we just saw a Lightning Rondo there for the, 160 damage. And back over to Michael. Again, that hand, I didn't see what the top deck was, but I don't think it was particularly great. I want to see a Super Rod being played here. Going to shuffle in Pheasantipity. Was that Giratina V-Star? And then a Regidrago V-Star as well, I believe, getting shuffled back in. But yeah, I need to see what Michael's top deck was, but because we saw the turn before, we didn't see any cards being played. It was just Celestial Roar, and then back over to Jesse. So let's see what Michael does.
No, the hand was like Super Rod and a couple of Dragon Pokemon that you want to get in the discard to copy with Regidrago V-Star. There was basically nothing there. It's not an ideal situation at all. Now, it does look like we got an Arven. Is Jesse playing an Arven here?
Was that just Super Rod and pass for Michael?
I think it was.
So now we're back over to Jesse's side of the board. It looked like it was concluding Town Store there by shuffling the deck. And oh my goodness, Jesse, like, Michael, if you are Jesse, like, thinking, I'm getting all the turns in the world.
And Jesse is going to go up 4 prizes here. That KO is on the board. Jesse needs to do nothing this turn to get the KO with Raikou. So what you're really trying to do here, set up that Miraidon, and then at some point, any gusting onto a Teal Mask Gogapon, and that's the game. We see an Ultra Ball here. We're just thinning the deck a little bit. There's no bench space available, but if you thin the deck, then Electric Generator. The rule is very simple. The more lightning energy you have in your deck, the better chance of hitting.
Yep.
The fewer other cards you have in your deck, the better chance of hitting your lightning energy off your Electric Generator. So search out that Mew. You can't play it yet, but there's one less card in your deck. Here comes Electric Generator. We're trying to power up that Miraidon, not for this turn, but for next turn. What do we get?
Got one
hit.
That's not bad. We'll take a 1. I think there's a basic energy in hand as well, right?
Yeah, so next turn, you just attach Gust game. I think Jesse is in for game 1 here quite nicely. There's no real reason for Michael to concede. We've got a long time limit on these games. We've got over an hour remaining. So there's no reason for Michael to concede super early here like there might be in Swiss. But I do think this game is as good as done at this point. There's the attachment for the turn. We're going to see the KO with Raikou's Lightning Rondo. We're going to
see it's fleet-footed first. Fleet-footed just to draw an extra card. Love to see that. Lightning.
Now we get it.
Lightning Rondo for the KO. Like Raikou taking. Oh, does top deck a Professor's Research there though for Michael? So won't be able to start getting back in this game. That's one card that we'd love to see. Going to draw 7 new cards and discard the hand. We need to see some energy search. Energy switch. We need to see some basic energy at the very least. Earthen Vessel, Ross, that's one step of the puzzle.
Yeah, and you get the Dragapult in the discard pile, which of course, you want your Dragon Pokemon in the discard so that you can copy their attacks using Regidrago here. So that is an important part of the puzzle. So that's a nice start. And you're going to get yourself some basic energy with the Earthen Vessel as well, which is lovely. And then you can, the problem is you've got no energy on the board. So you need an attachment, and then you need your energy on the Teal Mask, then a second Teal Mask, attached to that, double energy switch, V-Star, and then you can only be down by 2 prizes.
Yep. I mean, that is the line. That is the line. It's asking for a lot, but that is what Michael, we need to start piecing together if he wants to try and stay in this game. We do see Teal Mask activation there, Teal Dance, I should say, after concluding both those Earthen Vessels. We do see energy switch in hand. There's a concession there for Michael. Jesse Parker is currently 1 game up here in our Masters Top 8B feature match. Michael wasn't really able to get in the game, but Jesse capitalized and is currently 1 game away from being in top 4.
And there's going to be a huge sigh of relief from Jesse there. Jesse's deck did not do what it was supposed to do that game. We had 4 energy in the opening hand, 3 energy prize. That locked Jesse out of almost half his energy, basically, from being able to be hit with Electric Generator. We saw the Lightning Rondo from your Raikou early, which was not ideal, but at least you got it onto a Mew. Getting it onto the Mew was a very big deal, being able to get that KO. And then Jesse had a bit of a slow game, a bit of an awkward game, but when your opponent's doing nothing, that is absolutely enough. And that's the thing. If I'm Michael, I'm thinking, hang on a second, my opponent did not have a great game there. I just had an even worse game. So let's head over to the replay here, remind ourselves how it happened, and here was the big turn 1 Lightning Rondo.
Yeah, super impactful here for Jess. Like you said, didn't really have the best of resources available, but knew that his route to victory would be taking a 2-prize turn 1 KO, and had to go about it a sort of long-winded way, but it got there nonetheless. And that Raikou was just saying, well, if you're not going to do anything, Michael, I'm just going to Lightning Rondo again, Lightning Rondo again. And then that was pretty much all she wrote. Michael did have one turn to try and piece together a comeback, but unfortunately wasn't able to, and just, well, that was all she wrote. Picked all the cards up, just have a nice, quick game 1 then. Jesse, big sigh of relief. And make no mistake about it, even though Michael didn't really piece together a lot, like you said, Jesse didn't have the greatest of resources to work with, but still had to close the door there on that game 1 and did exactly that.
Yeah, did a good job there, doing what you needed to do. And both players are going to be, and that's the thing, you know, Jesse had a pretty convincing game 1 victory. Both players are going to be looking for a better start going into game 2. Both players are going to look for their deck to cooperate a little bit more. For Michael, get your Regidrago V-Star, get your 280 HP Pokemon. They are high HP. They are harder for Jesse to deal with. And we know Jesse has beaten a bunch of Regidrago this weekend. It's a matchup that he's pretty confident with. He's already 1 game up. But there is a route here for Michael to take a bunch of prizes, you know, maybe get some, you know, Kyurem. There's a lot of Pokemon that are 220 or less in Jesse's deck. So you can double Kyurem, and you can actually get a 6-prize turn with a double Kyurem attack. It's a possibility.
It is a possibility here, and it looks like Michael will let Jesse go first. Worth noting, Michael's prize cards, 2 copies of Ogerpon EX, Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, but that Prime Catcher as well currently in the prizes. For Jesse, again, those basic Energy Center want no part of this, and they're currently in the prize cards, as well as 1 copy of Rescue Board, which is his only copy, actually. So we saw that being utilized in game 1. That's currently not an option for Jesse.
And Greninja is in the active. It is not a Pokemon you want in the active. Not being able to retreat is going to be a pain. There are some Switch Cart in the deck, though. For Michael, he only plays 3 Teal Mask Ogerpon. And you really want 2 on the board, so you can Teal Dance, double energy switch, get your Regidrago going in a single turn. That is going to be a little bit awkward for Michael, because he's only going to be able to get 2 energy on the board per turn. That is not enough to power up a Regidrago. It means every turn's energy attachment is going to be a little more important.
Yep, those energy attachments are going to be crucial, as it looks like Jesse here is concluding it quite seriously. Ultra Ball by the looks of it. Going to grab that Miraidon EX, and also going to activate that Tandem unit to grab 2 Lightning types and pop them on the bench. I'm going to do a little prize check, prize card search as well.
Yeah, he's going to find out that for the 2nd game in a row, there are 3 energy prizes. And look, when you're playing 16 energy in a 60-card deck, you do expect some to be prized. Let's be honest. About a quarter of your deck is energy, so you would expect 1.5 prize per game. Having 3 prize 2 games in a row, that's above odds.
It really is, but, you know, managed to get away with it in game 1. So let's see if we can get away with it again. You know, currently sitting at undefeated record. It's like Blood Moon Ursaring is going to get benched as well. As a Squawkabilly, we're going to see those Squawk and Seas here. We are. I've not actually had a chance to consult Jesse's hand here. Let's have a little gander what he was working with. Arven and Switch Card, not the most, you know, explosive cards. So I wonder if Jesse's going to try and get some energy on the board of electric generators. Let's see if Squawkabilly gave him, and the answer is no. But we do see a Forest Hill Stone, though.
Yeah, but there's no way to get out the active now. Your only rescue board is prized. You've gotten rid of 1 switch cart. Oh, side note, the 2nd switch cart is prized.
Oh, goodness.
So, yeah. I think the only switching left in Jesse's deck right now is Prime Catcher, because there's 2 switch cart, 1 in the discard, 1 in the prizes, 1 rescue board in the prizes. Yeah, I think you have to manually retreat that Greninja or play Prime Catcher. I think that's literally the only ways to get it out the active. Less than ideal, Shay.
No, you're right, less than ideal, but at least Greninja does have a 1 retreat cost. It's not like trying to maneuver something huge out the way. But you're right, energy, you don't really want to be attached into Greninja if possible, but you're right, that Squawkabilly getting rid of the switch cart, that's all she wrote for that. As that was like Town Store is going to grab a Bravery Charm there. Not sure where that's going to get attached to this turn. If not, but if it does, basic Pokemon is attached to will get 50 extra HP.
Yeah, 50 extra HP is quite nice. Give a little more survivability to those Pokemon. It can take a Blood Moon Ursaluna out of range of a Lost Impact, for instance.
Yeah.
So there are some things you can do there to play around with the maths a little bit. So, what have we got coming down here? We've got the Bravery Charm on the Miraidon, puts it up to 270. We've got an Energy onto that Miraidon as well. And it looks like a pass. That is not the explosive turn that we generally wanted there. But remember, that's turn 1.
Yes.
Michael has a turn, doesn't attack. It's next turn that Jesse needs the big explosive turn. There is still plenty of time left to pull it off.
As we do see, Michael going to kick his turn off there with an Earthen Vessel. Going to discard that Hisuian Gudra V-Star. Love to get that in the discard pile nice and early. That Rolling Iron can be copied, obviously, via that Apex Dragon. And that Rolling Iron will do 200 damage and reduce damage done to itself by 80 next turn.
Yeah, that's always going to be fun. Give yourself that extra survivability. 280 damage is not really what Miraidon loves hitting. 220, that's the magic number. That's what Miraidon's really going for. That's what you get with your Raikou. That's what you get with Miraidon. Zapdos puts it up to 230. Getting up to 280, yeah, that's a little bit more of an ask. So you're trying to avoid the Regidrago V-Star as much as possible. It's why these early KOs become so important. And then you gust around a little bit, maybe take out one V-Star, and that's your route to victory. There's your prize map.
So it looks like we're going to see an Ultra Ball going to grab the Squawkabilly. And it looks like Michael is going to be using Town Store. I don't think actually plays any tool cards, just using that to consult resources and see what he has available to him. But Squawkabilly has been taken off the Ultra Ball. That was discarding a Regidrago V-Star and a basic Grass Energy. So it's like Squawkabilly all over the place here for both players. We might see that Squawk and Seize, and Michael discard his hand to draw 6 as long as it's the first turn of the game. A fantastic card for getting, just getting set up. And worth noting that Motivate can be used and often is in the Regidrago decks, letting you accelerate 2 basic energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon.
Yeah, it's not too bad at all. Just a reminder there that Squawkabilly has been used. And it's kind of cheeky using your opponent's Town Store, but it's a really good thing to do. If you haven't had a chance to check your prizes, well, here's your chance to check your prizes. Here comes the only Teal Mask Ogerpon available in the deck with an energy attached to it. Draw a card, there's an energy switch, that's good. Problem is, there's only one Regidrago.
Yes.
And you don't really want to start using energy switch to pile it up with energy and then see it get KO'd next turn.
Yeah, but I think there's no other way. So I think it looks like Earthen Vessel is going to discard that Dragapult EX. Love to see that. And it's going to grab, it looks like a basic Fire and a basic Grass. I think if you're Michael, all you can do here is attach that Fire and just hope that your Regidrago V can survive. That's all you can do at this point. Must be a horrible place to be, but all you can do is cross your fingers. You can see the expression now on his face as he's shuffling up. That Regidrago V has to survive to give Michael a best chance of staying in this game.
The good news is Jesse is going to really struggle to get this Greninja out of the active spot. That is at least one saving grace. So we're looking for potentially a double electric generator hit onto the Miraidon so you can manually attach the retreat, or maybe using your Prime Catcher to take out, say, that Teal Mask Ogerpon. That would also work. You get Squawkabilly, but I like saving Squawkabilly for a bit later.
Yeah, worth noting, if he does use Prime Catcher into that Teal Mask Ogerpon, that would be Michael's only one until Super Rod would get played. Town Store did conclude there. Didn't quite manage to see what it was, unfortunately, but it looks like we are going to see an Arven being played here as well. Now, this is going to give us some insight. Worth noting, Jesse still does have Star Alchemy available, so Arven can grab a tool card and an item, and the Star Alchemy can grab any card Jesse likes. There's a ton of search power here, and I'd love to see how he plays this turn out.
Yeah, I do feel like we might be seeing an electric generator because it's early turns, and Miraidon always goes for electric generator on early turns. It's what it does. And actually not looking for a tool there. So I don't know if there's any really...
I don't think there's any left after these Town Store activations, and with the the rescue board in the prizes. Might not have any option. So here we go, electric generator. Let's see how this pans out. Top 5 cards. Remember, you can attach up to 2 lightning energy you find there, but they have to be in the top 5. Little crossover. Oh, there's 2 there, Ross.
That'll do very nicely indeed. And here's the thing, now you can manually attach to Greninja if you've got an energy. You can manually attach to retreat and get it out the active. I don't know if I saw an energy in Jesse's hand, though.
But it looks like he's using Star Alchemy to go fetch it. Could just be a basic energy. Could grab the Prime Catcher. I think probably just want to grab the energy. You really want to try and remove that Regidrago V if you can. Could use a double turbo energy if you like. That would work. Can grab any card you like here, Jesse. This is a fantastic place to be.
No, this is lovely. That's why we play Star Alchemy. It lets you go and search for any cards you like. And it looks like it was that double turbo energy. And let's face it, it just had to be something to get Greninja out the active.
Yep.
If you want to go after your Teal Mask Ogerpon, well, then you go and get your Prime Catcher. If you want the active, and very important, double turbo is the correct call here.
Yep.
Because it can't be accelerated with Electric Generator. And so by using this, you're not lowering your odds of future Electric Generator. Sorry, Shay.
Yes, I was about to say, but it looks like we are going to see this Photon Blaster KO here. And that is devastating for Michael. No Regidrago V in play. Looks like doesn't play the copy of Thornton, so that won't be an option either. So Michael, if he's going to attack this turn, we're going to have to be a Leaf Myriad Shower.
Yeah, Leaf Myriad Shower we've seen can work. We've seen it KO Miraidon on stream this weekend, but it only works with many Teal Mask Ogerpon.
Yes.
Because I believe, what we're looking at, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you need 4 energy onto a Teal Mask Ogerpon to do 240 and get the KO. And right now, there is, how much energy is actually on it at the moment?
1.
Yeah, so you can attach for turn, and you can Teal Dance.
Yep.
And you're still 1 energy short.
Worth noting it has a Bravery Charm attached as well, so it's currently at 270 HP. So we are going to say that Teal Dance activation, going to draw a card there and attach the energy. I think that's Professor Churro's Scenario. Oh, goodness gracious me, that is not the hand you want.
Terrible hand.
Oh no, Michael Davidson, is there a way to navigate out of this? Only has 2 prize Pokemon in play as well. Worth noting, Photon Blaster, but you do have to maneuver your Miraidon if you do want to attack next turn. But yeah, looks like we're going to see an energy switch onto the Squawkabilly. Professor Churro's Scenario, going to see what, and then bench the Teal Mask Ogerpon and use Motivate. Oh, Teal Mask again. Teal Dance, I should say.
Just to draw an extra card. See one more card.
Oh,
the Fire Energy.
no.
The hand is Regidrago V-Star 2 Fire Energy. There are no real relevant attacking options on the board. And you're using Squawkabilly to build up your Teal Mask Ogerpon that is not even your main attacker. And it's not going to take much for Jesse to KO this Squawkabilly, go up by 4 prizes and get into a phenomenal position for potentially getting into top 4. Oh, and we can see an Electric Generator off of concealed cards.
Yeah, it does still need to maneuver around, because Photon Blast, you can't attack 2 turns in a row. Does have Electric Generator, so could power up the Raikou. That is a possibility.
Could even, yeah, you can just retreat into the Raikou at this point. Like, it's not the most efficient use of your energy, but you can.
You definitely can. We did see Ultra Ball here being played. He's going to thin the deck a little bit, but yeah, goodness gracious me. Jesse has a whole multitude of ways. Oh, does have a bench slot open, actually, so could just grab Luminion, Boss's Orders, perhaps. Or Luminion for Arven to grab Prime Catcher to reset as well. So many, a myriad of options here for Jesse.
Oh, a minute. And now this turn, I adore Prime Catcher.
Yeah.
Prime Catcher onto that Teal Mask Ogerpon, get a 2-prize KO, leave your opponent with just a Squawkabilly, get rid of their energy, get rid of their only attacker. I think Prime Catcher at this stage would all but end the game. You would still need a pivoting option because there's no free retreaters on Jesse's side of the board. But, you know, like a basic energy would deal with that. You'll be fine.
Would be. Could use Electric Generator to attach the energy onto the Raikou. Does have basic energy in hand. Jesse does have a few options here. Just opting, you know, trying to work out what is the most optimal. That's what we've got to do in these high-pressure scenarios. So Electric Generator is being played here. Look at top 5, attach up the 2 energy that you find there. Triple Jesse Parker. Someone has to hook him up to the electric grid. He's generating so much electricity right now.
And that means that the Squawkabilly KO is on the board. You can, you don't really like to, but you can manually retreat Miraidon. Now, here comes Luminion. I love the idea here of using this to get an Arven for a Prime Catcher to go and KO, or even just to Boss's Orders if you prefer. But then, nah, because then you'd have to retreat. I think Prime Catcher, there we go. It is, as predicted, Arven for Prime Catcher. This is going to take out the Teal Mask Ogerpon, Shay. It is going to leave Michael with just 1 Squawkabilly with 1 energy on the board. And I don't know if Michael can come back from that. And if you made me guess, I'd say probably not.
And I'd have to agree with you. You're going to see Prime Catcher into the Tilmaster Ogerpon. Going to promote the Raikou. Going to get fleet-footed to draw an extra card as well. Nest Ball was that. Now, I imagine we're going to see a pay retreat Photon Blaster here. As Michael puts the hand down, there we go. I'm going to see a pay retreat back into the Photon Blaster, which has been reset. So now that is an option for a big 220 damage, and that would be a huge KO here. And that would put Jesse down to 2 prize cards left in this top 8 match.
And let's not forget, Squawkabilly is a very, very easy 2 prizes for Jesse to take to finish out the game.
Oh,
Michael
no!
top decks an energy switch and concedes, and Jesse Parker is heading on with a still perfect record into the top 4 of the Pokemon Trading Card Game World Championships. That's a pretty impressive thing, I think.
Wow, what a top 8 performance that was for Jesse Parker. Just being able to accelerate those energy and really close the door on Michael from being able to do anything. Now, make no mistakes, in that game too, Michael didn't draw the
Holy crap, Egyptian God card decks just received a huge boost with this brand new card from Infinite Forbidden called Spell Card Soul Exchange. This card allows you to tribute summon any monster from your hand by tributing monsters your opponent controls. And yes, it says monsters, meaning this is a way better retrain of the original Soul Exchange that only allowed you to tribute one single monster your opponent controlled. You can literally tribute 3 monsters from your opponent's side of the table to summon out Obelisk the Tormentor. And funny enough, the God card deck already had a card called Soul Crossing that allowed you to tribute summon a Divine Beast monster by tributing 3 of your opponent's monsters. So now you have 6 cards that do exactly that. And fun fact, the card artwork actually refers to the pivotal moment in the anime where Kaiba was dueling a Shizu and tributed his own Obelisk for Blue Eyes White Dragon to deal the game-winning blow. So if you're playing an Egyptian God card deck, you definitely want to throw this in there because this card is way too OP. Holy crap.
This video is sponsored by PTCGLstore.com, a great place for you to buy Pokemon TCG code cards. Hey guys, in today's video, we'll be showcasing Arbok EX. Arbok EX has definitely been upgraded with the new Shrouded Fables set, and interestingly enough, I have not actually showcased this card in this channel yet, so this is my chance to do that. Basically, what makes Arbok EX great is because of its second attack, Menacing Fangs. For 3 dark energies, it deals 150 damage, and then your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand to discard. I don't like the fact that your opponent chooses what to discard, but it still limits their options going into their turn. And that's pretty much going to be the whole strategy for this build. Keep attacking while you limit what your opponent can play in their hand. Arbok EX does partner really well with the Unfair Stamp A-Spec card. When one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's turn, you can use this card and have both players shuffle their hand back to their deck. You draw 6 cards, while your opponent only draws 2. Between this and Arbok EX's attack, you leave your opponent with a 0 card hand going into their turn. But late game, you can still use Iono or Roxanne so that you can continue to limit your opponent's hand. And as I mentioned at the outset of this video, Xerosic's Machination does partner well with Arbok EX. This forces your opponent to discard cards from their hand until they only have 3 cards left. This is very disruptive that it can severely limit your opponent's setup. Again, when you follow up with Arbok EX's attack, you can limit your opponent to just 1 card left in their hand going into their turn. And for science, I'm also experimenting on this new Malamar also from the Shrouded Fables set, because this one is built to combo with Xerosic's Machinations, and we'll be using this more for its first attack, Colluding Tentacles. For just 1 Dark Energy, you switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot, and if you do, this attack does 120 damage to the new active Pokemon. I just thought this was a good inclusion since we'll be using Xerosic's Machinations anyways, especially if you can set it up turn 2, you could potentially start taking out your opponent's Pokemon before they can even set up. This could possibly be a good sniping option if you think about it, because you could just technically finish off a Pokemon that you've already weakened with Arbok EX. The only downside to this attack is its condition, because if you don't get to use Xerosic's Machination, especially if your opponent has 3 cards or less in their hand, you can't use Xerosic's Machination, so you won't be able to use this attack. However, there is a bug in PTCG Live right now where this attack oftentimes does not work, so I would probably just replace this with like Morpeko or another support card to make this deck even more consistent. And another upgrade to this build is Janine's Secret Art. This allows you to choose up to 2 of your dark Pokemon, then attach 1 to each of those Pokemon, and your active will get poisoned if you attach an energy this way. And another upgrade to this build is Janine's Secret Art. This allows you to choose up to 2 of your dark Pokemon, then attach 1 to each of those Pokemon, and your active will get poisoned if you attach an energy this way. But you can also use Dark Patch to accelerate 1 basic dark energy from your discard pile to one of your bench dark type Pokemon. And as a new addition, we also have Pheasantipede EX with a Flip the Script ability. If one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's turn, you can draw 3 cards. And finally, I also have Petron EX. This will allow you to switch one of your dark Pokemon from the bench to the active spot, and your new active will get poisoned. This is really great for switching your Pokemon around. And additionally, I also have this Munkidori with the Adrena Brain ability. As long as you have dark energy on this Pokemon, you can transfer up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Since Arbok EX can only deal 150 damage, the extra damage counter you can transfer with this will make it a lot easier for Arbok to knock out even stage 2 EX Pokemon with just 2 attacks. For consistency, I'm using a combination of Rotom V, Forest Seal Stone, and Pidgeot EX so that we can get whatever cards we need from our deck. Overall, Arbok EX can definitely be a very disruptive deck, especially if you can set up as soon as turn 2. However, if your opponent has a really powerful draw engine set up, you'll most likely fail to control your opponent's hand, and because of that, the win rate for this build is not all that great. This is definitely worth looking into if you want to just annoy people, but this is nowhere near competitive in my opinion. But do let me know what you think of this build in the comments below. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below, and now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Arbok EX.
Step into the ring.
I am back. I was streaming in an hour or two. Probably prep for bed.
Choose your fighter. Incineroar.
fast. Oh. Oh.
Three, two, one, go!
good about that win. unfortunate. Only on Town City. Trying to go for like a touchdown. I get punished for spacing that character much. What's that?
Choose your fighter, Kirby! Ready?
Okay. I want to play this thing. Is it?
Ready?
I mean, it's very good this time too. This. Both are for me.
3, 2, 1, go!
Ah, bad roll timing. You can't keep getting away with that. Those are for side. Nice fight. Good trade. God, it actually killed. I love this game so much. Love this game. I love that.
Kirby wins!
Nice stuff. Two games. Back to my dungeon. Not feel good in my mouth. That's 10 characters.
3, 2, 1, go!
Let me get that in. Hit your sides. Yummy. Well, there's not really like anything I can bust right away from Kirby. Kirby takes too long to get like anything out. But I don't really have anything I can like bust out of A, so we can get to the end of it. This finished me already. Flat to help me get that kill, so I just don't get it. I was gonna die for like anything in that percent. Kirby's like so light.
Yoshi wins!
Just standing there doing nothing. Yeah. It's been pretty empty tonight. Only hit I needed. Ah, good. I got too greedy. I'm way too greedy. I don't absolutely. I could have been down. And that. Yes!
Kirby wins!
I knew eventually he was like gonna try for the landing. Really close snipe right there. Someone else comes in like the next 10 minutes, I might just stop here. been a slow Saturday. Usually people stay, but because I've been having internet issues, people haven't been staying. Ugh. I'm easy. I'm just like I'm just dead. Dang, the people coming in woke up. Hey. Not bad. Double I like 40%. It's not gonna kill me. throwing out so many moves. Do it. Yeah, you got that one.
Link wins.
You got that one. I almost got the correct dig. The Yoshi's plus I'm playing Kirby. If then we'll just wrap it up here. Get back up, go to sleep. Feel a little bit better going into tomorrow. Yeah. See you guys next Saturday for